Okay, so you can see here I've got this Revit model that I've developed a bit further than in the last video I showed you, and just added some extra elements at the rear there, and most importantly I've added in a new level for the basement, or for the loading area really. And so I'll come back to that in a moment and show you a few things I can do there to make that work better with the views. And in the floor plan there, you can see I've added some elements that are showing in the basement that I want to show in the ground floor plan. Before I do that, I want to put in some new stairs in this area, and then once I've done that, have a look at how I can change the other stairs that I've done to a different kind of stair. So the first thing you need to really understand when you are creating things like stairs is that they're not families in the traditional sense in Revit. So when you use component or door or window, let's click on the door tool, you'll see you have the option to go to load family. When you make a stair, I'm going to go to my basement level first and click on the arrow next to stair, and I'll just go to stair by sketch. Notice you don't get the option to use load family. Okay, so you need to get the stair type a different way. At first, if you go into properties, you can choose the down arrow there and choose from the different preloaded stairs. So the previous stair I showed you was a standard 190 max riser 250mm going stair. And do you know what construction type that stair is? If you've had a look at that one? Does anyone know when you make the normal stair in Revit, if you don't change it, what sort of stair does it give you? Yeah, it can be any shape, but I'll just show you in my other view. We'll see the one that I've already made. Okay, so you can see it there for all the other things. So that stair, you can probably just see it there. Here we go, there's a better view. Okay, so what sort of stair do you think that is? What construction? Timber, exactly, yeah. So we have a stringer there supporting the treads and the risers, and then the railings timber as well. That really doesn't matter. But the main thing is that the timber structure, or the stair structure is timber. So that's one kind of common stair. Steel stairs have a similar structure, but this stair would be concrete. And so they're a very different kind of stair. So you've already seen how to make a standard timber or steel stair, the way I showed you last week. This time I'm going to click on the run tool the same way, but I'm going to go to monolithic. So a monolithic stair is what you often use for concrete stairs, and they're made in a different way to the other stairs because they don't have a stringer. If I click on edit type here, you'll see that it has this option for monolithic stairs ticked, and that's what makes it monolithic. And so a monolithic stair, you'll see when I create it, has the structure incorporated with the tread and the riser. And so I've got there my level set to basement for the base level, and then the top level set to ground floor. And this should be the process whenever you make a stair. Check the levels, and it'll use the level that you started with when you opened, when you started the stair tool, the floor plan that you had open. So if you didn't notice, I had basement open when I started this. I've since changed to the ground floor view with my drawing, but it remembers that I started on basement. So it's good to start your stair on the level you want to begin on, even though you can change it afterwards. So once you've checked the level you're going from and the level you're going to, then you need to check your riser count and also the width. So in the drawing here you can see my risers. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 risers. Looking down in properties here, you can see it's detected that number, but notice how it's got actual number -1. And that's again due to the way monolithic stairs are created, it's essentially going to give us an extra riser. And we may not need that. In this case, the floor is going to be our last riser. So there's a trick with these stairs. You can make the riser count one more than you need. And you'll see why when I've made it. So it's just with monolithic stairs you sometimes need to do this. The width there, I'll just measure that off the drawing. So it's 1200, and that's what I need. Okay, so those are the things you should check: the width, the riser, and then one other thing to give us the dimensions of the stair. We need the tread dimension, or the going. So again, I can measure that on my drawing. And you can see this one's only 250, so I'm going to change that in properties. Now it's giving me an error. If I go to edit type, here we go, it's because the monolithic stair is set to have a minimum tread depth of 280, so I'll change that to 250 in the type properties as well. Okay, so now to draw the stair back to run, I've got a line here which should give me a midpoint. If it doesn't come up automatically, do you know the shortcut for midpoint? SM. Yeah. So SM is snap to midpoint. And now you can see coming up, oh, now, sorry, it says 2 remaining. Oh, okay, so that's right. It's so desired number is going to be 1 less than I need, but that's going to be 5. So it's counting 1 more. So 5 is right, sorry, for the number of risers. And then again, SM there, and then the trick there is to draw 1 less in plan in this case. So there you can see I'm just going to the line of the stair. This maybe it'll be easy to understand once you've tried it a few times. It will try to give you an extra step more than you need. It's because, strictly speaking, that last step would be part of the stair structure, but we don't want to see it graphically that way in an architectural drawing. So here it'll give me a warning, but that's fine, I can live with that. I'm going to draw a section through this and it might make it a bit clearer. Again, it's only with monolithic stairs, but if you don't know this, when you start working with concrete stairs, which are usually what you use monolithic stairs for, it can be a bit confusing. So you can see there, it's finished the structure before my floor there. And this floor, I can just make into a thicker floor so that it goes down and connects with the stair, and that's fine. What I don't want is the stair finishing in line with the floor, which it would have done if I'd left it to draw the number of treads it wanted. So I know it might seem a bit unusual at first, but you'll understand it once you've drawn a few monolithic stairs. And so now I've got these railings. On one side I don't need, and this one I might leave for now, and we might put a well, actually no, I'll take that away right away as well. So later we might want that for the design, but I can have it in again, so I'll just delete that as well. It's a loading area at the moment, and that's what I'll do it as. So in the ground floor plan I can see that stair. When you see a down arrow like this, do you think that is a clear way of indicating the stair direction? No, not at all. That's the way it's done in America. Nowhere else really does it that way. So virtually everywhere else they use up arrows only. And so if you select the stair, you've always got the option to tick show up arrow in all views. So that's one good thing to do. And then, as I showed you before, in this basement floor plan, I have some extra objects showing that aren't showing in my ground floor plan. And I don't want to have 2 floor plans, one for the ground floor and one for the basement level. So I'm going to show you a really important option in view properties, which you have if nothing's selected. then it should give you the view properties, in this case floor plan. We'll scroll down and you'll see at the bottom you have view range. So again, if you don't know this one, then you're missing something in Revit. You often need to adjust this. So again, just by clicking edit there next to view range, now I can change, again, the cut plane can be an important one. If you're missing windows, for example, that are too low or too high for your cut plane, you can adjust this globally. Have you thought about what would happen if you have windows on a level that's slightly above your ground floor, or maybe just high windows or very low windows? How you would show them in a floor plan? Okay, so it might not be obvious, but there's an extra option to adjust the view range just in certain parts of your floor plan. So that's an important thing as well. But here, all I want to change is the bottom of the view so that it goes down below. I'll make that basement. Or if you don't have any other levels below basement, you could use unlimited. And that will just see everything below the ground floor. And the view depth, I'll just set to unlimited as well. Okay, so clicking OK, and now I can see those units that weren't showing on the ground floor. Okay, so I just want to make sure you're aware of that option. It's really important for your architectural plans and sections and other views like that. So then with the stairs again, you can see I've got these timber stairs. Now you might have used edit type to change the properties to make your stairs different. And it's good to experiment with those options. There are really most of the options you need to make all the different kinds of stairs. But sometimes it's easier just to get them from the library. So to get stairs from the library, there's one simple step that people usually get wrong. They look for load family, but instead you just need to use open. Now people make it too complicated and they try to open family files, when really, if you just go to the main menu and choose open, instead of choosing one of these different options, it'll open all the Revit files it's capable of. So again, to the left of that arrow, you can always click on the button that says open, and that's where people get it wrong. So make sure you're doing that when you want to get anything like a stair or a wall or a railing that isn't a standard family. So I want to go to the library now. I'm going to use the shortcut here to, well, just go to the metric library because that's the one that you're given when you install the program. And there you'll see sample files, and then you'll find stairs. Now that is going to be a problem as well because they've changed the stair tool. So the stair tool, you probably remember, has two options: stair by component and stair by sketch. This stairs file that's been installed with Revit 2014 has stairs made with stair by component. So they don't work, they're not compatible at all with stairs made by sketch. So you can't use those stairs if you've made the stair with stair by sketch. Okay, so make sure you're aware of that. In the standard metric library, that's what you'll have. But if you go to the Revit library here, so this is the shortcut I have to the library on the P drive, remember? Then go to sample files there, and I've put the older versions of those stairs in there for you so that you can still change to the different stair types. Okay, so it's one of those technical things you've got to be aware of. And so you should get this message telling you it's going to upgrade it because we want the older format. Okay, so zooming in there, you can see all these different basic stair types. So do you remember what sort of stair it is in the space? Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's pretty close to this one. It's a cantilevered stair basically. So that stair's pretty close. And so it's not cantilevered, it's got a middle stringer. And so you could use that one and just change it to metal. It's got a metal stringer, not a timber one. Okay, so that's the one I want. That's closest to what I need. So the trick there is to select it and then use copy to clipboard. So on the ribbon here you can see it's come up with the clipboard panel, and there I've got the copy button. Do you know the shortcut to switch windows within a program? Or anyone know the shortcut? Changing windows when you've got a program open, how to change between different files. Pretty much, yeah, that's right, yeah, you got it, yeah. That's right, Control Tab. That's right, yep, spot on. That's good. So, yeah, so that's good to remember. If you're a Windows user, you should know those shortcuts. So Control Tab switches between open windows within a program. So you hold down Control and just keep pressing Tab. With Revit, you'll have many windows open, and that's okay. You can still just switch between them. I'll just show you the others. Alt-Tab switches between programs. So that can be helpful as well.
Control-Tab and Alt-Tab?
Yep. The Windows tab's another one. It's really useful. And then you can cycle through the windows, but you can also just click on one that you might want. So easy to remember because those keys are all together. And so remember the first one, we're using Control Tab, and I can use that to change to my project file, or simply use the Windows button up on the Quick Access toolbar and change that way. So I've gone back to the file that I started in, and now this is where things get a bit strange, because there is another way of bringing that stair across, but I'm going to show you the quick and dirty way. Going to the Modify tab, you can just click on Paste. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Click OK, and then I'm just going to click anywhere so that it brings that stair I selected in the other file into this file. Now I don't want that stair. That stair's not the right size or the right height or anything, but it's the right construction type. So I've brought that type of stair across into my new project file. I'm going to delete it now, and I'm going to go and select the stair I had previously, and because I pasted in the type of stair that I want, now in Properties, in the Type selector, I can choose that new kind of stair. So there we are. Okay, so it's all to do with the difference between families and types. Stairs actually only have two types. Stair, which is the stair by sketch, and then the other one, the new one I mentioned, stair by component. So unlike furniture and things like that, you don't change your stairs by changing the family, you change them to different types. And you don't load types in the same way as families. So you need to get used to that method. To get not just stairs, probably even more useful, is the option to bring in different kinds of railings. So I'll repeat that process, but I'll do it for railings. So again, on the main menu, Open. And this is where most people go wrong, very first step. Because they look for Load Family, and they choose an option here, instead of just clicking on the Open button, which will open all the Revit family, all the Revit file types. So notice how here it says all supported files. That's what you're after. Okay, so I'm in the same folder, and I'm going to choose railings instead of stairs. Now this file actually has some good stairs as well. Because they've got things like the post for the spiral stairs. Anyone had a look at Revit 2016? No? Make sure you're still saving in 2015 if you want to bring your files in here, but I'd be having a look at it if I was you. It's much better. Big improvement over 2015. Lots of good things they fixed. No, not yet. Yeah, so we've got to stick with 2015, but you can have both. And if you're interested in in the changes, then I think it's a good one to look at. But yeah. Yeah, click on open. Yeah, yeah. So whenever you've got a line next to the arrow, that means it's a button you can click on. Oh, and then you've got to use the shortcut on the left, or browse up the top if you don't have a shortcut to Revit Library. Yeah, so you might need to just browse up the top to the P drive. So where it's got My Documents. And so if you go to P and then Interior Design and then Revit Library, if you scroll down there. And then Sample Files is usually a good one. Yeah. Okay, so look at all these different types of railings. Do you remember what the railing in the space is? I'm pretty sure it's wire underneath, horizontal wires. Not that it really matters because you're probably going to demolish it anyway and replace it with a better one. I don't think you could do wires anymore anyway, but that's what I'll do. And then it might be too high for these in any case, and you'd need to get one that's going to comply with the BCA so that people can't climb up it and jump off. But just to use this as an example, I'll select it. Again, copy to Clipboard. Then from here, or with Control Tab, I can switch back to my other project after I've copied it. On the Modify tab, I'm going to click Paste. OK. Click to place it, and now that railing type is also part of this file. So I'll delete it now that I don't need it anymore. And I can select any railing in this file and change it to that new name that I got from the railings file. Okay, so maybe one very last thing. You can see that the railing is going alongside the wall there, and we don't need it in that location. So make sure you realise that the railings are a separate object to the stairs. They're generated with the stair, but afterwards you can select each railing separately. And I'll go to the plan view and then choose Edit Path and just delete some of the segments from there. Let's drag this one across, shorten it, tick to finish, and now back into the 3D view we can see the railing starts at that new location and it's still following the height of the stair. If you're tempted to extend the railing over floors, it does work and it will pick up the height of the floor, but controlling the height is fairly difficult if it's continuing off a stair, so often it's easier just to add in a new railing, and that's what I'll do. So I'm going to go to Architecture tab and make sure you realise you can create railings separately, and I'll just draw a railing setting the type to the one that I've just loaded and go from just from the edge of the floor across to where the railing finishes and extend that up. Actually it goes across the top there. So that'll do for now. I'll finish it there, and in 3D you'll see that the connections are okay, but we could make that better maybe afterwards and take out one of the posts, but for now for concept level drawings that will be fine. Okay, so hopefully that will give you a better idea about working with stairs and railings, and also levels and setting that really important option in any view except for 3D views. You can see there's no option to set view range, but in plan views you'll always have that option, so don't forget that. And in elevations and sections you have a similar option, which is clipping. So they're related. Okay, but I'll just go back and show you the plan again. So remember, this stair is showing up in the floor plan above. This stair still needs to have that option set. Just to finish off, in properties, don't forget this as well, show arco in all views. So that will do for now. Don't worry about that upline, we'll talk about that later.